Good afternoon. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission. I call this meeting on August 22nd, at 1:11 p.m. Madam Secretary, please.
Scripps.
Present.
Present. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Madam Secretary, today's meeting is being held in person at the Commission's office at 7109 West Saginaw Highway in Lansing. We are also hosting this service is available through the are participating via Microsoft Teams. You can also turn on the live captions button at the top right of your window and clicking on the drop-down menu. Finally, clicking on Turn on Live Caption. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose reference on the in addition, the commissioners can receive comments via ara-commission.gov. Reference this we'll have an opportunity for comments as provided. Like to make individuals want to make a verbal individuals participating remotely by Microsoft on the raise hand time to be queued up for comment. Individuals participating remotely by phone and who want to make a verbal may press *5 at any time to be queued. Public commenters on both Microsoft Teams and on the phone are added to the same speaker called upon in the order to enter the speaker. Please do not lower your hand or press *5 again, or you will be removed. Finally, to minimize disruptions, participating by Microsoft Teams or by phone will be muted until we reach time for public. First order of business is approve the agenda for today's.
I move to amend the agenda for today's commission meeting by removing item 4B6.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Now have a vote on the motion to amend today's agenda. All those in favor of the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The agenda is amended.
I move for the approval of the amended agenda for today's commission meeting.
I second the motion.
Now have a vote on the motion to the amended agenda. All those in favor of the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by a unanimous vote. The amended agenda. Next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the July 23rd, 2020.
I move for the approval of the minutes from the July 23rd, 2024 commission meeting.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Now I have a vote on the motion to approve minutes from the July 23rd. Aye.
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 Aye. Any motion carries by a unanimous meeting minutes July 23rd. Next item of business on the agenda is the approval and minute actions on the consent agenda, and today the commission is assisted by staff attorney.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 5 communications matters, 6 electric matters, and 4 gas matters. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Now have a vote on the motion to approve the actions on the consent agenda. All those in favor. Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? By unanimous minute actions on are approved.
Item 4A1 is case number U20146, which involves an action on the Commission's own motion to permit Internet Protocol-based 911 service providers to change the manner in which cost studies are submitted to the Commission. The order before you permits these service providers the option, following discussion with the Commission staff, to submit renewal cost studies via OneDrive.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20146.
Second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Now have a motion on the now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. Aye.
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 Aye. Any
Item 4B1 is case number U18425, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company seeking ex parte approval of a power purchase agreement with STS Hydropower LLC. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-18425.
I second the motion.
Discussion? We'll now have a vote on the motion to approve. Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Carries by unanimous vote. Dash 18425 is approved.
Item 4B2 is case number U20350, which involves an application filed by Upper Peninsula Power Company requesting ex parte approval of a power purchase agreement between Upper Peninsula Power Company and Copper Country Power One LLC. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20350.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We'll now have a vote on the motion to approve. Motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. 03.
Item 4B3 is case number U20805, which involves an application filed by Indiana Michigan Power Company for authority to reconcile its power supply cost recovery plan, costs, and revenues for the 12-month period ended December 31st, 2021. The order before you denies the petition for rehearing filed by Indiana Michigan Power Company.
Move for the approval of the order in case number U-20805.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Now have a vote on the motion to approve. Those in favor of the aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by unanimous. Dash 20.
Item 4B4 is case number U20889, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for a financing order approving the securitization of qualified costs. The order before you approves the routine true-up of the securitization charges.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20889.
Is there any discussion? Now have a vote on the motion to. Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by unanimous vote. Dash 20. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B5 is case number U21090, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company seeking ex parte approval of a power purchase agreement with Century Oaks Energy Storage LLC. The order before you approves the application.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21090.
Is there any discussion? We'll now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries by unanimous vote. Order in case number U-21090 is recognized. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B7 is case number U21373, which involves the proposed amendment of Michigan Administrative Code Rule 460.813 within the Commission's rules governing electrical supply and communication lines and associated equipment to update the rule to adopt by reference the most current version of the National Electrical Safety Code, being the 2023 edition. The order before you approves the schedule for a public hearing and for the filing of written comments on the proposed amendment to the rule.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21373.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We'll now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21373 is approved. Oh, sorry. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Thank you. Item 4B8 is case number U21374, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion regarding the regulatory reviews, revisions, determinations, and/or approvals necessary for Consumers Energy Company to comply with Section 61 of Public Act 342 of 2016. The order before you approves Consumers Energy Company's application for its voluntary green pricing program and directs the utility to conduct an outreach session regarding the purchase of renewable energy credits from distributed generation customers as discussed in the order.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21374.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21374 is recognized. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B9 are case numbers U21393 et al., which involve a matter on the Commission's own motion to open a docket for load-serving entities in Michigan to file their capacity demonstrations as required by Michigan Code of Laws 460.6W. The order before you accepts the Commission staff's March 24th, 2023 capacity demonstration results report, closes the docket in case number U21393, opens the docket in case number U21775 for the purpose of receiving capacity demonstrations for the 2028-2029 planning year, and adopts the Commission staff's revisions to the capacity demonstration filing process and requirements document attached to the order as Exhibit B.
I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-21393 et al.
I second the motion.
Before we vote on this, I want to note that these capacity demonstrations and the work in evaluating the capacity demonstrations are an important element of the resource adequacy framework that we have here at the Commission. The capacity demonstration process was established under the 2016 energy laws and provides additional transparency and visibility into some of the changes that are taking place in the electric sector that help us to responsibly manage the ongoing energy transition. The report from the staff, after considering the resource adequacy demonstrations by load-serving entities and alternative electric suppliers, finds that we have adequate generation supplies to meet expected customer needs in the capacity demonstration timeline. And I appreciate the work of the companies in filing these demonstrations and the work of the staff in reviewing them. It is, again, an important piece of the framework that we have to ensure that we're able to maintain reliability going forward. Is there any additional discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-21393 et al. Is approved. I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B10 are case numbers U21650 et al., which involve an application filed by American Rural Cooperative Incorporated for a license as an alternative electric supplier. The order before you approves the AES license and opens the docket in case number U21776 for American Rural Cooperative Power Incorporated to file its initial renewable energy plan.
I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-21650 et al.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-21650 et al. Is approved. And I recognize Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B11 is case numbers U21653 et al., which involve the application of DTE Electric Company requesting ex parte approval of its expedited pilot review work plan. The order before you clarifies the Commission's February 23rd, 2023 order in case number U20898 and sets a deadline for interested persons to file comments regarding DTE Electric Company's proposed work plan in case number U21653.
I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-21653 et al.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a vote on the motion to approve the order. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-21653 et al. Is approved. We've now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. As mentioned in the notice for today's meeting, we will take public comments in the following order. First from individuals attending in person and then from individuals participating remotely, either through Microsoft Teams or by the phone, who have entered the speaker queue. As a reminder, this public comment period is for commissioners to listen to comments and concerns, not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you are willing to share so that we have it for our records. And again, please limit comments to one per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes each. I don't believe that we have any speaker cards that have been filled out, but if there are those attending in person who would like to provide public comment at the time, I invite you to do so. Okay, we will move to the virtual options. We do have two individuals in the queue at this point. Dee Woods to be followed by Angelita Gonzalez. And so Dee Woods, if you are able to unmute yourself, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, hello. My name is Dee Woods. I live on the west side of Detroit, Michigan. So my family has been in our household for over 40 years. So we know pretty much all of our neighbors. So I call some of them our family, so I know them pretty well. So our block's power was out more times in 2023 than it was on. The worst was during the ice storm in February of 23rd. February 2023. Our power was out for days. Temperatures reached under 10 degrees and even below zero for a few nights. I'm disabled, and so are a few of my neighbors that were affected. So we had no heat. We couldn't shower. We had to bundle up in multiple layers of clothing, blankets, and praying for our lights to come on. My mom and I are both diabetics, and we had to throw away mass amounts of insulin. We just went grocery shopping. All of our food, which was worth $300, was gone. After spending much of last year and parts of this year in the dark, meanwhile, we're getting hit with another rate hike. It's not fair to us Detroiters, but especially us disabled and poor Detroiters to pay higher rates. Meanwhile, we're not seeing much of the payoff. Our money should be spent into coming into our communities, but instead it's being spent on trips and to cushion lawmakers' pockets. In closing, we ask that you visit our city and see how hard these rate hikes are hitting us Detroiters. We have people like myself who are disabled and poor who can't take anymore. Another rate hike means that some of us have to play Russian roulette with what bill to pay this month, if we pay rent, if we got to choose medications, many in cases which are life saving medicines, or pay DTE. Please, for the sake of our lives, please stop these rate hikes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Woods. Next, we have Angelita Gonzalez and then Heidi Drumhiller.
Yep, I got it. Good afternoon. My name is Angelita, and I live on the west side of Detroit. I'm a single mother that's being affected by the 10% rate hikes. It is nearly impossible to afford my DTE bill. I'm currently on a shuttle protection plan, and even with being on that, my bill is over $300 a month, which isn't realistic with other bills. We're calling for the Michigan Public Service Commission to hold a public hearing in Detroit on DTE's 2024 rate hikes by September 1st. Additionally, we are calling MPSC to stand with our communities and reject DTE's 2024 rate case request.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. And then Heidi Drumhiller. Ms. Drumhiller, you can unmute.
Okay. Can you hear me all right now?
Yes.
All right. My name is Heidi Drumhiller, case number UT1472. I have been here before. Some new things have happened in our Drumhiller Marsh. We're south of Marshall. This week was very important around here because we had gotten MLive to come out and do an interview. So they were out here on Monday. Lucas Larson is an environmental reporter. He is doing a story and video interview on the marsh. And MLive has 4 million subscribers a month, 4 million views a month on their online platform, but 1 million in their newspapers, which they have 8 newspapers around the state of Michigan. They are Michigan's largest medium organization. So they were here and they're going to do a story that's being written on right now. And this is concerning the EMR habitat, the Eastern Massasauga rattlesnake. This was protected in 2016 by by a federal Endangered Species Act. And so now we have a petition already with 1,100 signatures. And I don't know who ordered this interview. It may be our YouTube family because we have a huge YouTube family that are interested in this 23-acre marsh. But whatever it was, they came out and they're going to do the story. So we're going to get a lot of news with that. Also, the proposed ITC power lines are set to go right over the Nottawa Drain, which is the habitat for these snakes. They hibernate there. So any kind of digging, moving dirt around is going to disturb them, and they cannot be moved successfully. This week, also, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Kristen Sternish, is now investigating the marsh. And so there's a lot of activity out here. As we mentioned before in the prior meeting, Matt Diana from the DNR Fisheries and Biologist Division wrote a letter back in January of 2023 to ITC stating that this area should be avoided because they have it listed as habitat for the snake, and we have photographic proof of it being here. So, and I talked to him on the phone 2 weeks ago, and his stance is the same as mentioned in a previous interview here. So anyway, we've got all this stuff going on. So I just wanted to add that to the file. And one thing I think is ironic, ITC sends emails occasionally and they say, do not print out the emails, save the paper, save the planet. So why are they going through a 23-acre protected wetland? It's a marsh that has a federally protected rattlesnake in it. When they are going, the route is going to the west. They are purposely turning it to the east to go through our marsh and then taking it back west. The MLive interview is going to show just how close that ridge is that they could go on to avoid the marsh completely. So hopefully for the hearing, we'll have some video, and that interview will be available for us to see and submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Drumhiller. I believe that brings us to the end of public comment. A few announcements before we wrap up today. First, we have a number of positions posted on our website, michigan.gov/MPSC, where we're hiring. I believe we have 6 open positions at this point, a number of public utility engineers and analysts in a number of different sections, gas operations, some related to the new siting law. And so encourage any who are interested to check that out and apply if you are interested. We'd love to add you to the team as we grow out to meet the responsibilities asked of us by the legislature in the last year's energy legislation. Speaking of the siting issues, earlier today, the draft sound report guidelines Appendix 1 was filed to the docket in the siting case, which is U-21547. The purpose of the sound report is to provide the commission with information necessary to assess whether the facility meets the noise limits defined in the energy laws enacted last year. And we are in the process, and this is noted in the docket as well, of seeking comment on the draft report on sound modeling guidance. Comments are due by Wednesday, the staff intends to hold a public meeting to review the modeling guidance on Wednesday, September 4th at 3:00 p.m. And then comments on the draft sound modeling guidance are requested to the docket by September 11th. So a couple of dates for the calendar as we continue the implementation of the new energy laws, and particularly the elements around siting of renewable energy generation projects. And finally, I want to congratulate Commissioner Paratic on being named Vice Chair of the Advisory Committee to the Electric Power Research Institute. We have gotten a lot out of our engagement with EPRI, and particularly your participation and leadership in that organization, and I'm glad to see that reflected in a formal leadership role going forward. I believe that's the end of the announcements. Our next commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, September 5th at 1:00 p.m. And at this point, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn today's commission meeting.
I second the motion.
We will now have a vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries by unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.